Hey guys, welcome back to Ada's Place. My name is Ada, and in this channel I give knowledge tips in the midst of vibes. Anyway, yeah, I share content around living in Germany, what my experiences have been, things I've learned along the way. And today I'm going to be talking about the first things you should do when you move to Germany, especially in this pandemic situation, right? I know that the embassies are open, people are getting their visas now, the student visas have been issued, work permits and so on and so forth. And yeah, the migration, it's kind of back, not fully, but I mean, people are coming into Germany right now, and it's important for you to know the things to do, the very important things to get you started in the country. And if you're in this situation, you just recently moved, you're planning on moving, or you know someone that is moving to Germany, please share this video with them, watch this video to the end. And if you do like the content, you can consider joining the family by subscribing or hitting the like button. So without further ado, let's go right into the video. Well, first things first is your registration, this thing we call Anmeldung. It's so important here in Germany. I mean, for you to live in Germany, you need to be registered, right? And it also boils down to when you're looking for an apartment, because some apartments you can't get registered when you're living there. And so before you move to Germany, of course, you should have gotten your apartment. If you haven't watched the video that I created on things to do before you move to Germany, I think you should do that. I'm going to link it up somewhere, and yeah, you should watch that. So I assume you already have your apartment, and it should be the kind of apartment that allows you to get registered in Germany. Thing to do, of course, when you move in or when you come to Germany is to do the Anmeldung registration. This Anmeldung registration, I mean, before the pandemic, you could either walk into a foreigner's office closest to your residence, or it was very easy to get an appointment, right? But right now with the pandemic, it's a little bit difficult, and it's not very easy to find an appointment online. And living in Germany, everything is about appointments. Just walks into an office without an appointment, right? So for you to get the Anmeldung appointment, the best time to look for this is in the mornings around 7 to 8 a.m. You go to the website. I'm going to link it in the description box. You go to the website, you keep checking, refreshing. I'm telling you, it's a sport. You keep refreshing and refreshing. Eventually you would find an appointment, and it's best to look for an appointment in a foreigner's office closest to your district. And for you to go for the Anmeldung appointment, a couple of documents you need to have. You need to have your passport, like your international passport, not a photocopy, not a whatever copy. You need to have the original copy, right? And you also need to have your visa. So right now you have the entry visa, which is the visa D. You need to go with that as well. Most times it's already a sticker in your passport. And you also need a registration form filled out by your landlord. This registration form is usually signed by the landlord. And you also need your contract, your apartment contract, your rental contract. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for, your rental contract. So with these documents and with your appointment date and appointment number, you go for your appointment. And please try not to miss your appointment, because Germans, they don't joke with the time. If they say you have to be there by 9 a.m, please be there by 9 a.m. Don't come 9:01, because you probably wouldn't be let into the building anymore. It's even more advisable that you come like 10 minutes early. You might stand or wait outside a little bit before it gets to your turn, but it's always better to be there a little bit early than to be late. This is one thing. So yeah, you should get the Anmeldung, and this Anmeldung is super important, because with the Anmeldung you can now register for all other things in the country. It's really funny, but yeah, it's very important. Before you go for your Anmeldung, it's also important for you to check that your mail, your post box, the name on your door is your name. For instance, if you're living in a shared apartment, your name and the names of the people that live in the apartment with you should also be reflected on the door, because most times you receive a lot of letters here by post. Germany is a very bureaucratic country. They don't joke. They wouldn't even send you an email. They send it to you by post. And so they want to make sure that your name is on the door. Even when you go for the Anmeldung appointment, you will be asked if your name is on the door. You should also know what part of the building you live in, what floor, if it's on the left or on the right. And it's important for you to know these things in German. Yes. So even if you don't know how to speak the language, I would advise you to at least know how to say your or how to describe your apartment or where you live in Germany. One thing you should also know about the Almeldon is that once you register for this Almeldon, they would automatically send you a radio bill. So here we pay radio bills, and it doesn't matter whether or not you have a radio or whether or not you use the television or anything here. It's a compulsory thing that you pay. However, it's paid per house. So if you live alone, you have to cover this cost on your own. If you have like a flatmate, or you live in a shared apartment, then all of you living there can contribute to this amount of money or to this payment. It's usually 17 euros per month. It's not very expensive. So you gotten your apartment figured out and your Almoldon figured out as well. The next very important thing for you to do is to get a SIM card. I think it's something that you can even get from the airport, but I wouldn't advise you to get it from the airport because it's super expensive there. But to get a SIM card here is pretty easy. It's not difficult per se, but it depends on the kind of plan you want to go for. And to be honest, it took me a while before I figured out this whole thing. It's a little bit tricky, right? It's quite expensive, and so you want to make sure that you're not paying much more than you can actually afford. So there are two different kinds of plan. The first one is the one that you have to do with a contract. For you to have the contract for this kind of plan, you need a lot more documents. They also need to, you also need like a residence permit. This one takes a lot more time. You need to have like a visa. They give you a 2-year contract, and then each month they debit a certain amount from your bank account, just so that you have like unlimited phone plan, unlimited internet, and so on and so forth. However, most people go for the plan, which is the one that is like what we have in other parts of the world. Like in Nigeria, where I'm from, just like when you have MTN, you pay as you go, right? So if you want a credit of say so and so amount, say 10 euros, you pay for it, and once it's done, it's done. If you want to buy more, you could even finish before a month runs out or before a day runs out, depending on how you use it anyway. So yeah, it depends on the kind of plan you want to go for. But my own candid advice is that in your first month, or first week of being here, of course, you wouldn't even have the requirements for a contract. You would probably have the requirements for, a normal SIM card, the pay-as-you-go type. What you can just do, you can walk into any shop, actually, any spatey or any grocery store. You can buy any of these lines there. You have Aldi, you have O2, you have Telecom, different ones, and they're almost the same thing. The only thing is that sometimes if you go for the one that has a phone, it becomes cheaper, but this is just long story. The most important thing is just get a SIM card, something that people can reach you with, and you can decide on how you want to pay for it. The average amount is about 20 euros per month for credit. Yeah, so you just need a SIM card. You know why you need a SIM card, so get one. Next thing for you to get is, of course, a bank account. And to get a traditional bank account here in Germany, it takes much more than just walking into a bank and filling out forms. So for you to get a bank account in a traditional bank here, you need to get an appointment. Yes, I know, appointment in this country is super important. As I said, you can't just waltz into any institution and demand for things. You need to have an appointment, you need to have certain documents, and so on. But now we have this online bank. It's called N26. There are other banks as well that offer online services, but the most popular one is N26. This is what I use. This is what a lot of international students use before we now finally move to having a traditional bank. And with the N26, you don't need to have an Almeldon to have this. You don't need to have any special requirements. Just need to have your passport. But one thing to know is that with the N26 bank account, some passports are not allowed, or some passports are not permitted, for some certain reasons. And so the traditional bank, it's usually what you have to use at the end of the day. But if your passport, if you can get an N26 account, you should get it. It's super easy to get. You just go to the website, fill it out, and in a matter of days, I don't even think it's up to days, in a matter of moments, your bank account is ready. Yeah, you can also use it to have the money in your blocked account transferred to you. And speaking of that, next thing to do is to unblock your blocked account. So if you're moving here as a student, you probably already blocked some amount in your blocked account. Next thing for you to do is to unblock it. So the easiest way, of course, is to go through the app or contact the service providers that helps you to block your account. Most times it's Fintiba. That's what most students use. So you can contact them. They already would give you, things or step-by-step process to unblocking your account, which most times involves going to a DHL office with certain codes, scan it, and then your account gets unblocked. You have to put the new account number, which you need to have a bank account in order to have this account number. You have to use this, and then with that they can transfer the money to you at the end of each month. So about having a bank account, I also talked about unblocking your blocked account. The next thing that is also very important for you to get is your health insurance. I mean, before you move to Germany, you probably have your travel health insurance, right? But now that you're here in Germany, your travel health insurance cannot insure you living here in Germany. And for you to be here in Germany, you must have a health insurance in your situation. But we have two separate kinds of health insurances here: the private insurance and the public health insurance. Most people go for the public health insurance, and once you register for it, you get a card. There are different public health insurance providers. Their services almost similar, not very similar, but almost similar. So most foreigners go for the ones that have like English speaking customer service, so that it's easy for them to make inquiries without necessarily having to speak the German language. One public health insurance provider that is very popular among students, among foreigners, is the TK, that's the Technische Krankenkasse. It's very easy actually to get a health insurance here. Just everything is online. You go online, fill out your information, they ask for certain information, especially your address. As I said, they send a lot of things by post, and so your name needs to be on the door because you're going to receive your letters by post. They'll probably send you a few notifications on the health insurance app, but yeah, you're going to receive a lot of things by post, especially your health insurance card. So you have to submit your biometrics photo, which they'll use to create the card, and after a couple of weeks your card will be ready. With the health insurance card, you can go to a hospital or go to a doctor to receive certain treatments for free. That means you don't have to pay as long as it's covered by your health insurance. So yeah, these are the things you need to do, very important things you need to be aware of on your first week here in Germany. I think you should already start making plans for them. You can even get an Anmeldung appointment before you move to Germany. By the time you keep checking, refreshing before you find an appointment, it could take a while. And I mean, without the Anmeldung appointment, some things might not, you can't apply for some other things. That's why it's really important for you to get this. However, even if you don't have your Unblock appointment yet, you can start, with getting your bank account if it is N26 or any other online bank. Or if it's a traditional bank, you need your Anmeldung for that. Anyway, welcome to Germany. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about the first things to do in your first month in Germany. Things you should be aware of in your first month in Germany. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, leave me comments in the comment section if there's anything you think that is very important that I missed out, or any questions you have regarding your first week here in Germany. Let me know. You can also follow me on my socials. Please follow me on my socials. Please follow me on my Instagram, and you can also send me a DM. I look forward to receiving your comments. I look forward to knowing how it's going for you with your visa application process. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Ciao.